Good morning, good morning, good morning. What's going on? This is your man, Big Stu, Scott Steward, or Professor Steward, depending on how you know me. Decided to come out to the sunroom on this brisk morning, this brisk fall morning. And share some more insights about what entrepreneurs don't like talking about. And I know that some of the stuff I'm talking about, good morning, Miss Presley. I know that some of the stuff I'm talking about here is about, it's easier said than done. But what I want to share with you all this morning is the importance of keeping that same energy. Keeping that same energy. So I always say I'm no pastor, I'm no minister. But I do talk about God a lot. I do talk about my spirituality a lot. I do pray a lot. I pray often. Hey, Mr. Barry. I do pray often. I pray often. And one of the things that I've noticed in my prayers, is that I had to shift. I have to shift my prayers from asking for things to being more appreciative of what I already have. And that's part of keeping that same energy. Now, I admit this is easier said than done, but it's so important to keep that same energy. So I desire to be financially wealthy. I desire to be financially wealthy. I desire to be financially wealthy. I desire to have in my bank account more money than I can spend. Okay? And so the work is having that energy right now. Have that energy right now. What am I talking about? I can't wait to become rich and wealthy financially to have the energy of the rich and wealthy financially. You have to embody that now. So here's the exercise. Here's the exercise that I created. I was inspired by something I saw, but here's the exercise. Ask yourself this question. How would you feel if you had all the money that you desire to have? How would you feel? How would you act? How would you move? What would your conversation be? What would you be doing throughout the day? How would you be treating yourself? How would you be treating other people? If you had all the money that you could imagine, how would you be moving throughout the day? And that's the energy. That's the energy you need to keep. You keep that energy. You keep that energy. Embody that energy. Success starts in the mind first. You don't build the building and then say, this is what the building I want looks like. You have to come up with the vision for it first. And then you step in that, stand in that. This is the work that I'm working on. I'm not saying it's easy. This is easier said than done. But this is the work. This is the work. Keep that same energy. You embody the spirit of what it is that you desire mentally first, then it will manifest itself. And yeah, it's challenging. It's challenging. It's challenging sometimes as an entrepreneur. Like literally, let me share. I ain't had no income in my business, and I know, look, I know I'm putting myself out there. This is hard for me to do because I always try to show up like I'm on something. But I hadn't had any income in my business in over 3 months. I hadn't had any income in my business in over 3 months, and I'm taking my own advice. Every day I woke up, I did my best to wake up, and I did pretty good on most days to wake up with that same energy, moving about, not operating out of lack. Ain't no lack. Ain't no lack. Money ain't the issue. Sometimes what I realize is when God don't give, look, you got to be careful with these words. Sometimes I realize when the prayers don't show up like I think they should. Sometimes I realize when the prayers don't show up, when the manifestation don't show up like I think it should, that's called prepping season. I'm being prepared to receive. You have to be prepared to receive, because some of us ain't ready to get what we asking for, because we'll mess it up. How do I know? Because I done messed it up before. So sometimes we just got to get prepared. And so it ain't that there's no lack. Ain't no lack. Definitely ain't no lack of money out here in the world. You got to keep that same energy. So however you think that you would, however you envision that you would be with all the riches, all the glory, all that, you have to be that right now, right where you at. That means you have to be happy with what you have right now. You have to appreciate what you have right now. There is no lack. And you got to keep that same energy. It's easier said than done. That is true, but there's a lot of stuff. A lot of entrepreneurs don't talk about this. So how do you do it? You remember it. Remember this. Remember that you are here because of a God. For me, I'm just speaking my truth. If you don't like me talking about God, then you can remove yourself from here. No hard feelings. But for me, it's remembering that God don't operate out of lack. God is always moving for my greater good. Always. Always. And sometimes for me, what I make up these stories that something is wrong. Like I made a mistake. Hold on, I got the train. That's pretty quiet. Like I'm making a mistake. I've done something wrong. There is, you can't, when you focused on good, when you focused on the goodness of God, ain't no wrong. You might have some redirection, right? You being prepped. You being prepped to not just receive, but being prepped to appreciate the reception of what it is that we asking for. So there are 999,000 ways to do business correctly. There are fewer ways to get it wrong. There's some definite ways to get business wrong. And one of them is going about your day operating in lack. Oh, I ain't had no customers in 3. I ain't had my business. I must be doing something wrong. That's wrong. You ain't doing nothing wrong. Open up and listen. Open up to receive. That doesn't mean you become a yes person all the time. You have to practice discernment. Facts. I'm speaking to you my truth. This is my Facebook page, and they're allowing me to share. I'm just sharing with the people who can receive, who are open to receive. I'm telling you, it's true. It's true. And when it's like, you think you ready, but then, it's still sometimes I feel like it's not showing up because you ain't ready. For people who, you've done that paper, and remember in grammar school, you wrote that paper. You thought you did your best, and then you get it back. It's got some, well, at least me. Maybe y'all didn't have this experience. But I wrote that paper. I thought I did my best, and I get it back. It got red marks on it. And then I sit and I huff and I puff. Why I got these red marks on my paper? I did my best. Instead of saying, here is the area for improvement. That's what God be saying to me. This is the area for improvement. And you can't get to the next level holy, not holy, holy. You can't fully get to the next level until you get that lesson. Until you get that lesson. And so what's the lesson? The lesson is today, what I'm sharing with you today. Keep that same energy. You know how it is when that money popping, and you got it and it's rolling, keep that same energy when it's not. That doesn't mean you be irresponsible with money. That doesn't mean you spend money that you don't have, but you embody that same grace and goodness and mercy and love and appreciation for yourself and others. Remembering why you were doing what you're doing it should be less about, oh, I need this money, and more about serving others. That is God's will. I don't mean to be on that with y'all this morning. I'm just sharing my truth. And then you find that it shows up differently. When it shows up, you feel different. You know why? Because you've been keeping that same energy anyway. It's expected. I believe you can demand God to deliver on his promise. Humbly, with all due respect. Straight up. What's up, Shanae? So I'm saying a couple of things today. And keeping that same energy, be more appreciative of what you have. You think your car raggedy right now? You don't like your car? Instead of talking about your car, be more appreciative. Thank you, God, for allowing me to have this vehicle right now. You don't like where you live? You change it up. It's the season of giving thanks. You don't like where you live? Thank you, God, for allowing me to have this roof over my head. I know the roof leaking, Lord, but thank you, God, for allowing it to not cave in this moment as I continue to stay in your name, stay in your presence. Prepare me, Lord. Prepare me, Lord. Thank you, God. I know, God. I know you holding on to the multi-billion dollars that I desire. I know you holding on to the $400 million that I desire, Lord. I know you holding it for me. I appreciate it. And I don't need it all at once because I might go through it. So thank you for allowing me to have this $74 in my account right now. Thank you for allowing me to eat right now. It may not be the seafood bag that I want, the seafood boil bag but thank you, God, for this PB&J. When you can stay in that vein, and I'm not talking about operating out of lack. I'm talking about operating out of appreciation. This is stuff entrepreneurs don't talk about. If you can keep that same energy as when that bag is flowing and when that bag not flowing, you'll be good. Because see, the problem is when the bag ain't flowing right, then you like, I don't know what's going wrong. Ain't nothing working out. And what you think about, you bring about. What you think about, you bring about. You will notice when you start complaining about something over here, lack. When you start complaining about lack, ain't just the lack of money. It's the lack of everything. You'll start to see that everything is starting to lack. But when you are appreciative of the abundance of what you have in this moment, you'll start to appreciate and the abundance of everything that you have in your life. The abundance of loving relationships, the abundance of good times with family and friends, the abundance of good feelings, the abundance of authentic laughter without getting high, without drinking, like the abundance of loving on yourself. And I ain't saying that, if you do what you do, marijuana is legal, you can drink, whatever you do. But when you just know and you just feeling good because you are so appreciative of stuff like the sun still shines on the cloudiest day, the briskness of the air, instead of complaining about how cold it is, stop it. Stop the complaining about anything. Anytime you complaining, it's an unappreciation. It's an unappreciation. Start appreciating more just what you have. I know it's easier said than done, and I know this is the stuff that entrepreneurs don't talk about, but this is the stuff that's important. I ain't gonna stay on here all day. I ain't even come on here to really preach. I just came on here to share some of my experience because, yes, today I woke up to a new bag. Thank you. And I'm looking at the bags is lined up. The bags is lined up coming in. Okay. But it's different. It's hitting different in this season. It's hitting different in this season. Because you wouldn't know, from here on out, you wouldn't know or won't know if I'm in a bag or not. You know why? 'Cause I'm going to keep that same energy. I know it's easier said than done, but when you do it, it feels easy. You already know what it is. I hope you have a blessed and amazing day. This is your man, Big Stu, Scott Steward, Professor Steward. Stick with me. Until next time, peace.